On this episode of Travels with Bill, we're taking a tour of the Good Spirit Lake Provincial Park. We're starting at the beach, but we'll show you all sorts of the park, and then we'll go golfing before we're done too, both mini golf and real golf, so stick around, there's lots to see. Good Spirit Lake is on the eastern side of Saskatchewan. It's a very shallow lake. We're going to show you more about that in a bit. You can just walk and walk and walk here, and you don't end up sinking because you never actually get deep enough to go over top of your head. It's really cool that way. Yorkton's just down the road here, about 48 kilometers away. That's a big city, but there's some littler towns around here as well. Good Spirit Lake's main inflow, Spirit Creek, flows into the lake at the north end. At the south end, there's a dam that's built to regulate the water levels. Quick peek at the beach here. It's a warm summer day and lots of people out. Now, you'd still find space for yourself in here. In fact, a little further down the beach, there was some empty sand, but certainly lots of families out enjoying the beach today. So why do they call this Good Spirit Lake? Well, if you go back in history, in the winter of 1774, Matthew Cocking of the Hudson's Bay Company stayed at the lake. He called it Witch Lake. In the late 1800s, the local postmaster, Robert Russell Smith, named it Devil's Lake, as the naming was a misinterpretation of the Cree word Manitou, which actually means good spirit. European settlers at the time could not believe a spirit could be good, so the term devil was used. The local post office continued to use the name Devil's Lake until it closed in 1954. Thankfully, these days it's called Good Spirit Lake because it wouldn't be as much fun, would it, to go to Devil's Lake? Near the end of the last ice age, a river ran through here, where the lake is now. The river deposited sand that make up the lake's sandy shores and bottom, and the dunes at the south end of the lake. Hey, there goes a giant turtle. That's kind of cool. The dunes reach a height of up to 5 stories. They're within the Good Spirit Provincial Park, and there's interpretive hiking trails that traverse them. Well, once we leave the beach, we certainly find some other areas, including this big group camping area. You can certainly make use of this if you had a big group coming in, though there's lots of smaller campsites too, some picnic tables and some fire pits available. But the big area is there. You can talk to the park about how you reserve that site. Good Spirit Lake's a bit off the beaten path, so you have to come in off the main highway a few miles to get here. That means not everybody driving by on the highway knows what wonderful things await you at Good Spirit Lake. If you're one of those folks that's driven down that highway to and from Yorkton many times that haven't been here, well, it's certainly your invitation to come on in and check it out. A Saskatchewan Park Pass will get you in. You can buy a daily pass if you need. You can also buy an annual pass that's good at many of the Saskatchewan parks. You'll find other parks, like Madge Lake Provincial Park, on the channel to check out and explore. Certainly a playground here as well for the kids. If you don't want to spend time on the beach, they'll love spending some time here. Some benches for mom and dad to sit on too. One of the neat things about Good Spirit is all the green space here, wonderfully manicured grass so you can walk around in it. And the lake's always over on the edge, but there's a lot of other stuff to do here besides just going to the lake. The kids will love the playground. I don't know if I should admit it, but this was actually my first visit to Good Spirit Lake when I came to film the episode. I've driven by Good Spirit Lake probably 300 times or more in my life, but never turned in to come see what was here. So as, part of the show, I thought we'd come check it out because I've always heard about it, but never seen it. Definitely worth the trip. They have one of those mini libraries here too, so if you're on the beach all day with the kids and want a book, well, you just come check one out because there's certainly lots of great books to be had. You can just put it back when you're done. In fact, if you have some books at home, now not a lot of them, but 1 or 2, you can always come drop a couple off here too for people. It's one of those take one, leave one kind of things, right? So bring a book, take a book. Gee, looks like some romance books in there. I better not stop or else I'm going to end up reading all about one of them and not get the video finished, am I? Okay, so I promised we'd get back to how shallow the water is here, and certainly as we look out across the lake again, you'll notice you see people wandering on out into the water. They seem to wander pretty far. Even if you saw in the drone shot earlier, that swim line is pretty far out too. That's because the lake is so shallow. So check this out. We're out past the edge of the dock here. That's the end of the dock. You can go out quite a ways, but see how the boats are all further out, and more specifically, see those people walking? So they're walking out to their boat because it's so shallow here. They have to put the boats way out in the lake, or else it's simply too shallow for the boats to be there. And those people walking are just walking on the bottom. They're not floating. You can go a long ways out and still be in the water without being too deep. That's what makes this lake amazing for kids. We'll head in off the water now, but we may well come back to the beach a little bit later on at the end of the video. Nice washroom facilities here, some change rooms on the go as well, so certainly you can get into your swim stuff here and get back out of it as well. You don't have to worry about trying to find a porta potty or something. Nice modern washrooms on the go. If we start heading towards the concession, first we find, well, a tree really, with some advice for you. Stand tall, go out on a limb, remember your roots, drink plenty of water, be content with your natural beauty, and enjoy the view. Well, it is quite a view here at the tree. In fact, it goes up and up and up all the way into the big blue sky. Isn't that kind of cool? I like that advice. We're on the path here that takes us towards the concession. You'll see some cars in the background. There's actually an auto show on the go the day we're here. We'll take a little peek at those in a few minutes' time too. But first, it's time for some food. Hot food and cold food available here. Certainly lots of ice cream though, so you want to check it out. And it's pretty neat. Lineup of people because it's so busy today, but it's not always as busy. I certainly came back after the day we did the filming, and you could walk right up and get your ice cream without having to wait in line so long. So it varies just depending on how many people. With the car show here, of course, it's an extra busy day. Kind of hard to see from this angle, but look at the little roof above the order window. In fact, let's get in a little bit closer so you can see that better. All the different kinds of ice cream showing up on the top here. It's really neat, kind of rustic looking, and gives it a real different look than what you might find other places. Oh, I see the picture of the burger there as well. They're absolutely delicious, so make sure you stop in, grab some food, and of course some ice cream, because the kids will love you for it. Hey, there's that car show again. Not the biggest show in the world, but certainly fills up the parking lot and the grass here really well at Good Spirit Lake. It's the Yorkton Antique Auto Association that puts this on, and they've got all sorts of cars on display. People come here from quite a distance away. Certainly Manitoba people would drive into this show as well. You may want to time your visit to be here on the day of the show. Certainly you can check with the Auto Club to find out the show days each year and make sure you're here to see these beauties. I do have quite a bit of tape of the show, so we should do a separate episode of the car show itself, although maybe we'll do that with Uncle Mark. Here's proof of Manitoba people. That's Cliff Kustra. He's from Swan River, Manitoba. He's actually related to me. He would be my mom's cousin. He's here winning a trophy for one of the cars he brought to the show. He certainly goes to a lot of shows, but he always likes to take home the hardware. If car shows aren't your thing, maybe you want to go disc golfing. They have a disc golf course here at Good Spirit Lake. If you don't know how to play this, well, probably a little beyond the scope of this episode to teach you how, but it is fun. I've done it with people before. You get kind of competitive. You can bring your own discs too and have a little fun with it. There's one of the holes right here. With the cars, of course, maybe there's people a little too close to play today, but disc golf normally is something you could do here at Good Spirit Lake. In behind that, beach volleyball court on the go too. If you're interested in playing beach volleyball, it's right near the beach, but the sand is kind of separate, so you don't have to worry about people trying to enjoy the lake, maybe being in the way of you hitting them with a volleyball. We're on our way now over to the sort of the campground area. There's some cabins in here too, but check out the rocks. If you're into painted rocks, these are amazing. They've got piles of them here. Like, not 10 or 20, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of painted rocks. So if you're into this sort of thing, the trip to Good Spirit Lake, you find this pretty easy. You just walk kind of west of the beach, down the path a little bit, and you'll find all of these rocks. They're so amazing, the amount of work that's gone into them. I won't show them all to you today, but again, certainly something that's worth the visit, so you can see exactly what there is. Look at the one with the watermelon. Isn't that amazing? It looks exactly like a piece of watermelon. I've taken some photos of these rocks and put them on Google. Lots of people love to look at them there too. So certainly some cabins close to the beach. The beach is just behind us. That's the parking lot for the beach. Then you get to the cabin area. Then a little further out here, you actually end up out in the campground. Going below us is the mini golf. We're going to come back to that in a second to show you what that's all about. But here's those campsites. So if you're thinking of coming camping, you can check out the Sask Parks website to find out exactly how you can book them and make your reservations. But this is where you'll end up being with your camper. So it's just a walk to the beach. It's not far at all paved. The kids would love it with bicycles as well, and certainly lots to do. There's the concession at the beach, but the mini golf we're going to next also serves food. Particuput rentals. Look, they've got more rocks too. So this is a neat place to check out. I see another watermelon rock in there. It looks like Miss Piggy in there in the back too. Very pink with some ears. I don't know where they come up with the inspiration for all those rocks, but they're very cool. In any case, we're not just here to look at the rocks. We're actually here to look at the mini golf course too. Although the rocks are kind of, well, Tempted to just keep looking at. Okay, time to move on. Let's take a look at the actual golf course here. So it is a golf course. There's also some food on the go. So there's a little concession area there as well. We'll head on into Partikiput and check it out. A little flower area on the go here and some neat stuff there. Always something to look at here. The mini golf course in the background as well. You see some picnic tables so you can enjoy the food. Wait, did its tail just move? I think it did. That definitely deserves a close-up. Imagine trying to golf through this. You wait until the tail goes up, you've got a moment, and then it's too late. The tail comes back down. The golf course, much of it is animated, which makes it really fun for the kids to play, and the big people too. I've always thought the animated stuff is pretty neat. Let's take a look at some of the other stuff on the golf course. A covered bridge here on hole 3, so you have to golf through the bridge. I guess you could try to get around it. Some Christmas lights on the bridge too, in case you happen to be golfing in the dark, I suppose. Looks like a bit of a tricky shot though to get the ball through that. Moving on to the next hole, we've got some gingerbread theme going on. I don't know if the gingerbread guys look all that happy. Maybe they're almost trapped in there. But in any case, you'll golf in through there and see if you can get to the hole too. You wouldn't want to get stuck in the middle though, would you? I've always kind of wondered who comes up with the idea for golf courses. Certainly there's places you can buy pre-made stuff for golfing, where you just order it, it comes in a box, they put it up. Hey look, The Rock 98.5, that's Dennis Dick's station in Yorkton, big commercial Christian station. Dennis, a real nice guy too. In fact, he plays all sorts of neat music. Good friend of mine, always happy to see Dennis. Look at that, the flowers. Anyway, back to my story, right? You can buy stuff for golf courses that all looks the same, but this place hasn't done that. This looks like it's all custom made, all sorts of stuff. The outhouse here as well. I see a bear further on in the background and see the little bit of a stage going on there. So certainly some entertainment goes on here at times. I've been through Good Spirit when they've got a band playing. This place would be full of people. Of course, there's still some golfers going too, but lots of neat stuff on the go. You can make some memories here with the kids, or just come as a group of adults and really enjoy it. A wood cabin here on the golf course too. I haven't had a chance to actually golf this one, but the kids have been begging to come play it. Ooh, some dwarves here, and a very confusing spot to try to get your ball all the way down to the end. You could easily get trapped in there, I suppose, if you didn't go far enough. And check it out, they've even got water in the middle of the golf course. You have to putt this one really careful. Up the ramp, across the lake, and down the other side. Otherwise, you're going to end up in the drink, have to pull your ball out, and go start all over again. We're coming up on the 18th hole, and remember we talked about how there's rentals here. See the bicycles? Those are something you could rent and then go for a ride around Good Spirit Lake Park. That'd be kind of cool too. The 18th hole, the goal here is to get a hole-in-one. It's a bit of a challenge. If you could do it, you win a free game, and you get to put your name on the list of people who've managed to accomplish it. It looks pretty complicated to make it all the way through to the end here, but certainly it can be done. And if you do it, I'm sure that light goes on and it rewards you quite well for it. But you're going to have to do some work here to get all the way up into the end. You see the golf balls collected up there. How many people have won so far? It's 2022, obviously, when we're going through here. And it doesn't look like there's necessarily a lot of them on the list. We'll lift up the flap, and as it turns out, 11 winners so far. Regina, Yorkton, Whitewood, Melville, people coming here from all over the place. I did mention a little concession on the go, so here's the menu board. You can order here. They're doing some cooking outside. They even have some of those spiral potatoes. Those look extremely yummy. Some drinks on the go too. And oh look, some wind chimes and even a rider flag. Jump outside here for a minute so you can kind of see the rental area a little bit better. So it's not just the golf. You can rent a club and go golfing. They've got some paddle boards there, lots of bicycles as well. So if you're looking for something like that, you've come to the park and maybe you don't want to bring that all with you, you can certainly rent it. Even the teeny tiny ones for little kids are available here. So do check it out, Partikiput Rentals. It's just, well, it's west of the beach. You really can't miss it. On the way there, you'll actually find the administration office. So if you found the admin office, you keep going just a little bit further. Some notices here for people as well, and here's a little campground map. You'll probably see this better if you go to the website, but it kind of shows you how that camping works that we looked at a minute or two ago. If you need some help, just head on into the building behind here. That's the actual admin office for the campground and the whole park. You can go in, and very friendly people. They'd love to see you. Oh, speaking of, check this out. It's a neat little sign that has a picture of the lake. Kind of shows you where we are and how the hiking trails work around it. You can ski, you can bike, you can hike. The lake pretty big, but certainly the Trans-Canada Trail is here as well. We're going to jump out of the park and actually head south a little bit to the golf course. Now, this isn't a mini golf. This is a really, really big golf course where you would take your cart out and go and enjoy the day. That building we're kind of zooming away from there, that's the clubhouse area. We'll come back to there in a second to show a little bit more to you. Neat thing here, though, is there's people that live all throughout the golf course. I guess you have to kind of watch out for the balls a little bit, try not to hit the house, and they probably watch out for you as well. There's got to be some funny stories about balls that go someplace they shouldn't. But this is some pretty luxury living in here. Beautiful cabins. You can see the water just off to the edge there. We're officially outside of the park here, but it would be an amazing place to live, wouldn't it? So green, so wonderful. I was thinking to myself, I can't imagine what these cost. Then I actually went and looked one up on a real estate website. Well, it turns out I really couldn't imagine what it costs to live in a golf course, but certainly you can come visit the golf course a lot cheaper than you can live here. Some interesting holes too. I kind of like the different amount of sand traps. Now, I'm not a big golfer for these big golf courses, but people that are, I thought we'd just stay here for a second so you can see a little bit of the view of it, because I know you want to come try it, but you probably want to see what it looks like too. You can find out more on their website, including a map of it all. But the best way to experience it is to show up here just outside of Good Spirit Lake Provincial Park and try it out yourself. Little peek at the clubhouse here. Certainly you park in the parking lot, come on in, they can help you out with whatever you need to rent, get your green fees paid up, then off you go. Later on, head back to the clubhouse and enjoy it. See the campers out in the background, some campground spots there. Check in with them on exactly how you can rent one of those. In fact, they've even got some rental cabins around the edge too, so lots of opportunity to spend a weekend or maybe even a whole week here playing golf. I did promise we'd come back one more time to the beach at the end. Check out the neat little thing they've done here with the beach, just to keep the sand from eroding. Then we'll go out on the dock. Now, you could maybe bring a boat in here if you're really lucky, but they park the boats out a little bit further. You certainly walk a long ways here, but see the people in the water? They're not very deep at all. There's only a couple feet of water. That does it for this episode of Travels with Bill. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? We'd love to have you as a subscriber. We're traveling all over Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and indeed Western Canada, showing you some of the best places to travel to, plus some other things too, like some history, maybe even some gardens. Well, you'll find all sorts on the channel. Do browse around and see what you find that you're absolutely in love with. Didn't quite get a train in this episode, but maybe next time we will. Farewell for now. From Good Spirit Lake Provincial Park, we'll see you on the next episode of Travels with Bill.